Praying to lankgod and he saved him.
Welcome to hell. It's your boy Lanky, aka lankgod, aka Lanky Says Relax. And today I have another completely new, original, never before seen sound design technique, I guess what I'd call it. It's a weird little trick, does weird stuff to your audio, and maybe you'll find it useful. It's very likely that you won't. Let's jump right in. So I'll be working on Audacity, but this should work with any DAW because it has to do with the file itself, not with what's loading the file. I've got a song here. Been working on it, whatever.
You don't get it, I'm a broke boy. All these rich kids wanna be like me.
So I've got the original here. I've also subtracted 3 decibels from it, exported it as wave in MP3. I've also got -6 exported as a wave. And what you want to do first is go to View and make sure File Name Extensions is checked. That way you can see .wave.mp3, and we'll be changing that. So just right-click the file and click on it again, or you select Rename so that you can rename it, and then delete that and change it to .txt. Now it'll say, are you sure you want to change it? The file might become unusable. Click yes, ignore it. I do recommend that you make a copy of your file because it is true if this could permanently damage the file if you do not have a backup of the original. So now that they've all been renamed to .txt, all you gotta do is double click it to open it, and it's gonna take a minute to open. Obviously audio files, almost 4 megabytes. A normal text file is less than 1 megabyte, so it takes a couple minutes for it to open. Just be patient. Basically, I've got my original, which is hitting at 0 or whatever, and then -3 and -6, because in my experience, changing the level of gain radically changes the outcome of the audio that you get back. Now, once your file has opened as a text file, all you gotta do is click File, Save, and then close it. And do make sure that you click File and Save, because if you don't, it's not going to change the audio at all. You'll have the exact same file as you began with. And just do that for each of the versions of your audio that you'd like to experiment with. Cutting all this out, right? So I've been sitting here for a couple minutes now. I'll let you know exactly how long it took when it's finished. See, in that time, it took no time. Super weird. All right, finally our last one is open. What you want to do is rename them back. I'm going to rename them to MP3, even though a couple of them were WAV files, because I've found that sometimes for whatever reason, Audacity doesn't want to open it if you rename it to WAV, even if that's what it originally was. So once you've renamed them to MP3, go ahead and drag them into your DAW. As we can see, for whatever reason, these got real short. It does weird things with the length sometimes. They're clipping wildly out of control, including this one, and I'd imagine that there are points in this one where it's clipping. These that look like they're not clipping, they're probably still clipping. So I'm just gonna hit Control A to select everything and go to Effect, Normalize, and I'm gonna take it down to -3, just in case there's some crazy distortion that makes it sound terrible. So we've got our original here.
Yeah, I'm photogenic. Rich bitch, settled too authentic.
Now let's take a listen to the weird stuff that we've created. Isn't that weird? And the question of how usable that sound is one that only you can answer. You might be looking for something exactly like this. I could definitely easily turn this into a better sound though, and it's an interesting route to start from, something that you can't really try to get to. You kind of have to fumble your way there. Now we've got our -6, and when I imported the -6, it got near to the end, so it's having an issue, but when I hit stop, it looks like it imported part of it anyway, so I wonder what that sounds like. Again, it basically sounds terrible, but this is a starting point that would be difficult to get to intentionally, and you might have some kind of use for a sound like this, or want to turn it into a better sound. Real star of the show, these two are clearly a lot more similar to the original. Now, obviously, there were some crazy peaks, so it was clipping, but it's not too wild. So I'm just going to give those a listen without turning them down, because that way you can more easily hear what it does. It's a really interesting watery sound. And compare that to the original.
Yeah, I'm photogenic. rich bitch, sound too authentic. You don't get it, I'm a broke boy. All these rich kids wanna be like me.
And as you might have noticed, there are some weird time differences that it causes. It cuts out certain chunks of audio, and so you end up being a little bit ahead. And if you look, it's not consistent. It gets more and more out of time as it goes. The other one even more so. Let's take a listen to what that one sounds like.
Praying to thank God and he saved me.
Yeah.
Now, those time changes make it kind of hard to isolate the artifacting that is caused by this technique, which is a shame because I think it would be nice if you could independently control the volume of the artifacting and compress it and stuff like that. It's a little weird, but I think that there's usability to it. The effect's really interesting. It sounds cool. The biggest issue is just the timing thing, and in the day of Ableton warp modes, you can figure it out. You can make it work. I do recommend, using longer files. To me, it seems like it's a bit more effective. Shorter files tend to just sound jacked up, basically. But again, a lot of it has to do with the gain of the audio. So tweak your audio gain as much as need be. Obviously, these are 3 decibel jumps, but in between there, I'm sure there's a world of possibility because this trick is real finicky. It does a lot of different things, even with similar audio sources. So play around with it. I'm sure that you can come away with something that you're happy with. So that's all for now. Another new, completely original, hot, untested, untried, but very workable technique. Lank the Innovator fucking signing off, bro. Y'all can't do it like me. I'm out here doing shit nobody does. What? Alright, I'll see y'all later. I'm not gonna do the Mets. Shout out to Mets. Go follow Mets the Gamer on Twitch and on YouTube. He's got Warzone clips up and shit. He's real good. Go follow Mets. See y'all later.